Welcome to our Friday playlist. This week's gospel is again from Matthew 22, though we're almost to the end of it. Jesus was asked the question, what is the greatest commandment? Jesus answered, love God and love people. So this week's theme is love. The very first love song I learned all the words to was Richard Harris' Didn't We? It was a song from his 1968 debut album, A Tramp Shining. It was the B-side. Remember back when singles had the A-side, the hit, and then the B-side, the filler. Well, it was the B-side to his 1968 hit, MacArthur Park. Listen to the words. This time we almost made the pieces fit, didn't we, girl? This time we almost made some sense of it, didn't we, girl? This time I had the answer right here in my hand. Then I touched it, and it had turned to sand. This time we almost sang our song in tune, didn't we, girl? This time we almost made it to the moon, oh, didn't we, girl? This time we almost made our poem rhyme. This time we almost made that long, hard climb. Didn't we almost make it this time? The song is about a relationship that almost happened, but in the end fell apart, leaving each of them alone and disappointed. The second love song that captured my imagination was one that I first heard at a downtown Chicago church on a Sunday evening in the summer 10 years later. Count Basie was there with his orchestra, and Della Reese was singing The Greatest Love of All. It was a brand new song, having been written in 1977. The story weaves and builds, capturing your interest from the opening lines. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody searching for a hero. It's all good. And then there came the twist. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. Regardless the soaring music, the driving lyrics, the message is still one of disappointment. The song continues because the greatest love of all is happening to me. I found the greatest love of all inside of me. The greatest love of all is easy to achieve. Learning to love yourself is the greatest love of all. Is that really the greatest love of all? Self-love? Is that how we got to where we are in our fragmented nation and world through self-love? In my life, that has never been enough. It ends up being selfish, self-serving, and worst of all, disappointing. God has offered us the only alternative that really works. God's love, selfless love of God given to us through Jesus Christ, through his suffering, death, and resurrection. God has loved the world so much, God has given us Jesus Christ. Anyone who believes in him and trusts him with all we have will not suffer disappointment, will in fact be welcomed into heaven's embrace with Jesus there to welcome us. Self-love? Disappointed love? We don't need to give in to these hopeless expectations. We can turn to Jesus. He will not disappoint. Believe him. As you're going to YouTube, you can search for Richard Harris singing Didn't We? And then you'll probably want to listen to Whitney Houston sing The Greatest Love of All. It is worth listening. And thank you for listening.